You're not tired. You're without purpose. Let me ask you a question that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time you woke up wanting to build something bigger than yourself? I'm not talking about work. I'm not talking about obligations. I'm talking about that inner force that makes you get out of bed with your eyes shining. If you just froze, that's a red flag. Because there's a brutal truth nobody wants to tell you. A man without purpose ages before his time. And it's not about wrinkles. It's not about gray hair. It's about that invisible weight you carry every day. That feeling of just surviving while the days repeat themselves in an empty cycle. The Japanese have a word for this. Ikigai. The reason for being. That which makes you wake up in the morning with meaning. And you know what happens when you don't have it? You become a ghost in your own life. You eat without tasting, work without feeling purpose, sleep without truly resting. Have you been through this? That exhaustion that 8 hours of sleep can't fix? Science has already proven it. People without purpose die earlier, literally. Their bodies give up sooner because their minds gave up long ago. And look at the cruel irony. We live in an era with more comfort, more technology, more entertainment, and the epidemic of emptiness has never been greater. Stay with me until the end, because you're going to learn how to break this silent cycle that's stealing your best years. What you're about to discover now can completely change the way you see your own life, because maybe the problem was never a lack of energy. And before I show you exactly how to get out of this, I need to ask you something. Leave in the comments. What was the last thing that made you feel truly alive? It can be something simple, something big, whatever. I want to know because this will help me better understand who's here on the other side of the screen. And look, if you made it this far and haven't liked this video yet, do it now. Seriously. YouTube understands the content is good and reaches more people when you like it. It's literally free, and you help other people find this message when they need it most. And if you want to keep evolving your mind with content like this, subscribe to the channel now. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and brings this transformation to more people who are lost, without direction, thinking it's just tiredness when in reality it's a lack of meaning. Now yes, let's get to what really matters. The poison of false motivation. Look, I need to make something very clear before continuing. This isn't that motivational coach talk that pushes you to do more, earn more, produce more until you collapse. It's not about waking up at 5 in the morning, taking cold showers and repeating affirmations in the mirror. Not at all. Because the problem isn't the amount of things you do. You can work 12 hours a day, have an impeccable routine, earn an excellent salary, and still feel this emptiness eating away inside. Have you been through this? The hidden truth nobody tells you is this. It's not about doing more. It's not about earning more. It's about living with meaning. And that's the real transformation. The one that changes everything from the inside out. Because when you don't have a clear reason for being, your life becomes an automatic machine. You wake up, execute tasks, sleep and repeat, day after day, month after month. Until you realize years have passed and you haven't lived anything, you just survived on autopilot. In Japan, there's an ancient principle that prevents man from wasting his own life. Its name is Ikigai. And no, it's not another productivity technique. It's a deep philosophy about how to find that which makes you get out of bed every day with real purpose. The Japanese discovered something the West is still crawling to understand, that longevity doesn't come from medicine or expensive gyms. It comes from having a genuine reason to continue. They live longer because they know why they're alive, and this journey begins with an internal decision, a mindset shift. You stop chasing what the world says is success and start building what really matters to you. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because there are behind-the-scenes aspects of this philosophy that will show you exactly where you're going wrong without realizing it. The silent epidemic, consuming you, and you know. What bothers me most? It's realizing this has become a silent epidemic. You look around and everyone's the same, waking up tired even after sleeping 8-9 hours, working on things that generate no real pride, living busy all the time, packed schedule, phone notifications exploding, but feeling that absurd emptiness in your chest. It's a brutal contradiction, and I know you feel this firsthand. There's an even darker detail to this story. Chronic procrastination, the kind that isn't laziness but total lack of connection with what you do. You push tasks aside because deep down, really deep down, nothing seems truly worthwhile. And then comes the guilt, the anxiety, the vicious cycle that consumes you inside. It's like being trapped on a journey without a destination, going in circles while the years fly by. The hidden truth behind all this is simple and at the same time devastating. You're not lost. You just were never taught to live with purpose. Nobody taught you this in school. Nobody taught you this at home. Society programmed you to chase external goals, diploma, job, house, car, status, but forgot to teach you to build something internal, something to sustain you when the world falls apart. And that's exactly where the silent impact of this absence of meaning lies. The Japanese understood this centuries ago. They created not only the concept of Ikigai, but an entire mindset around living with deliberate intention. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and having the courage to build from the revelations that come. And look, there's a specific technique within this philosophy that will show you exactly where you're stuck right now. But before that, I need you to be honest with me and with yourself. Comment there. I was never taught to have purpose. Now, I know you might be asking yourself, okay, but how do I start applying this in practice? How do I get out of this paralysis and start building a life with real purpose? And that's exactly why I prepared complimentary material for this video. It's direct content, no beating around the bush, that will guide you in this internal transformation in a practical way. Its name is The Path of Japanese Discipline. This method will transform your ordinary mind into a disciplined, focused, and unshakable mind. A mind capable of acting every day, even when motivation fails, even when fatigue weighs heavy, and even when nobody's watching. Because look, motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. This ancestral material teaches how to eliminate procrastination at its root, master unstable emotions, and build that silent consistency that shapes true winners. It's not about fleeting enthusiasm or that energy peak that lasts 3 days. It's about developing the mental power that sustains permanent results. Over 1 million copies are already transforming lives around the world. If it makes sense to you, take a look at the material I left here in the description below. This content can go offline at any moment, so if it's useful to you, take advantage while it's still available. It was made exactly to complement what we're talking about here and can save you months, maybe years, of trial and error. Be part of this transformation too. But now let me show you something that will connect all these dots once and for all. The emptiness that kills from within. There's a story I heard from a Japanese monk that marked me deeply. He said that most people live like boats adrift in the ocean, not because they don't have the strength to row, but because they don't know where they're rowing to. And the more I observe reality around me, the more I see this metaphor confirming itself in a frightening way. The truth is, you probably wake up every day and execute a series of tasks. You meet deadlines, answer messages, solve problems, put out fires. But when night comes and you lie in bed, that strange feeling hits. What did I really do? Today that matters. And no matter how many hours you slept, you wake up tired again. Because true fatigue isn't physical, it's existential. You work, but don't feel genuine pride in what you do. Maybe you even earn well. Maybe you're respected in your field, but that sparkle in your eyes is missing. That deep connection with what you build. And the cruelest part, you live busy all the time, packed schedule, not a free minute, but inside there's an emptiness that no meeting, no project, no achievement can fill. Procrastination becomes your constant companion, not from laziness, but because deep down nothing seems truly worthwhile. It's like you're following a script written by someone else, living a life that isn't really yours. And this is the most painful revelation. You're not lost. You just were never taught to live with purpose. The Japanese realized this centuries ago. They understood that the greatest waste isn't losing money or time. It's losing your entire life without knowing why you're alive. And that's why they created practical techniques, mental tools that guide you on this journey of self-knowledge and transformation. Now, I want to show you exactly how this silent diagnosis can be reversed with a conscious decision. Origin of Ikigai, the ancestral secret of longevity. Let me take you to a specific place on the map. Okinawa, a small island in southern Japan. This place is known worldwide as one of the blue zones of the planet, regions where people live. Over 100 years with health, lucidity, and vitality. And when researchers from around the world went there to understand the secret of this absurd longevity, they expected to find miracle diets, secret supplements, intense exercise routines. But you know what they discovered? Something much deeper and more disturbing: purpose. The inhabitants of Okinawa live guided by a concept called Ikigai, which in literal translation means reason to wake up every day. But don't confuse this with career, don't confuse with money, don't confuse with immediate pleasure or material achievements. Ikigai is what anchors you in existence. It's what makes your life have weight, have real meaning. And look how interesting. Most of these people don't have glamorous jobs, aren't rich, don't live showing off anything. They live simply but with a depth that we in the West have completely lost. There's a story of a 97-year-old man who continues to wake up at 5 in the morning to take care of the community garden. Not because anyone forces him, not because he needs the money, but because that's his Ikigai. Those plants, that earth, that silent contribution to the community that sustains his life. And that's exactly the point. Ikigai doesn't shout, it sustains. While we live chasing titles, followers, external validation, and dopamine spikes, these people build a silent discipline around something that truly matters. It's not about having all the answers or achieving perfection. It's about finding that which makes you get out of bed with genuine intention, that which connects you with something bigger than yourself. And this ancestral mindset carries powerful revelations about how we're living wrong without even realizing it. The 4 pillars of Ikigai, the Japanese code of existence. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject because understanding the concept of Ikigai is one thing, but knowing how to apply this practically in your life is completely different. And the Japanese, with that precision only they have, distilled this into a code of 4 pillars. It's not abstract theory. It's not philosophy to look good on the shelf. It's a real map that shows you exactly where you're stuck. The first pillar is what you love. That which gives you true energy, not superficial pleasure. I'm not talking about watching series on the couch or scrolling through social media feeds. I'm talking about that which you would do for hours without noticing. Time passing, that which ignites something inside you. It's the internal flame, the genuine emotional connection with an activity, a purpose, a cause. The second pillar is what you're good at. And here discipline comes in, because being good at something requires practice, requires repetition, requires silent sweat. It's not magical talent that falls from the sky. It's skill built day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's the impact of consistency over mediocrity. The third pillar is what the world needs. And this is the most important turning point. It's not about you. It's about serving something greater. The Japanese understand that a real life is a useful life. It's not inflated ego. It's not external validation. It's real contribution. It's you using your strengths to solve real problems of real people. And the fourth pillar is what you can be rewarded for. Because look, romanticizing poverty is stupid. You need to sustain your life. You need to pay bills. You need to have stability. But the reward here isn't uncontrolled greed. It's conscious sustainability. It's receiving fairly for the value you deliver. And here's the brutal revelation. When one of these pillars is missing, man breaks. You can love something but not be good at it. You'll get frustrated. You can be good at something the world doesn't need. You'll feel useless. You can do what the world needs but not be rewarded. You'll give up. Real transformation happens when these 4 elements align. The deadly trap of modern man. And this is exactly where most modern men are drowning without even realizing it. Let me be direct with you. We've been conditioned to chase the wrong things in the wrong way. And the worst part is, we even think we're doing everything right because everyone around us is doing the same thing. The fatal error is this: seeking pleasure without meaning. We've spent our whole lives chasing cheap dopamine, likes, notifications, infinite entertainment, instant gratification. And at the end of the day, that emptiness is still there, because pleasure without purpose is like eating fast food every day. It fills your stomach in the moment, but doesn't nourish anything real. You're always hungry, always unsatisfied, always looking for the next dose. Then there's the second error, chasing money without direction. We work like crazy, accumulate, invest, but for what? What's the real destination of this journey? Money is a tool, not the final objective. When You turn it into the objective, you become its slave. And then no matter how much you earn, it's never enough. Because you don't know where you're going, you just know you're running. And there's the third error, perhaps the cruelest: discipline without purpose. You wake up early, work out, work hard, follow rigid routines, but all this to serve what? Discipline became a self-imposed prison. You're torturing yourself without knowing why. And the Japanese realize this in a brilliant way. They have a phrase that cuts deep. Discipline without Ikigai becomes prison. Ikigai without discipline becomes illusion. Think with me. You can have the most beautiful purpose in the world, but if you don't have the strength to act every day, that becomes just a pretty dream that never materializes. On the other hand, you can have all the discipline in the world, but if you're applying it without a true north, you become an empty robot executing orders. Real transformation, genuine impact on your life only happens when you unite these two forces. And that's when the behind the scenes of this philosophy start to make sense in a visceral way. The ritual that separates men from boys. Now comes the part that separates those who just consume content from those who really transform their lives. Because you can perfectly understand this entire Japanese philosophy, you can agree with every word I've said so far, but if you don't transform this into daily action, nothing changes. And the Japanese know this better than anyone. That's why they created practical rituals, mental tools that you incorporate into your daily life until they become part of who you are. Let me introduce you to something I call the warrior with purpose ritual. It's simple, direct, and powerful. First, wake up early. It doesn't have to be at 4 in the morning, but it needs to be before the world bombards you with external demands. You need to conquer the first hours of the day before anything else steals your attention. Second, 5 minutes of silence. No phone, no music, nothing. Just you and your thoughts. It seems like little, but most people can't stand being with themselves for 2 minutes. This silence is where revelations happen. Third, and perhaps most important, ask the key question. Every day, without exception, you look in the mirror and ask, what today strengthens the man I respect? It's not about pleasing others. It's not about looking busy. It's about building the version of you that you truly admire. And here comes the fourth step. Execute one non-negotiable action. Not 10, not 5, 1. But let it be that action you know moves you in the direction of your Ikigai, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's difficult. And there's a brutal truth in all this. Men with purpose don't negotiate with their own weakness. They don't bargain. They don't make internal deals like, today I'll skip it, tomorrow I'll do it. They know that each decision, however small, is shaping their mindset and character. It's this silent consistency, this daily discipline without an audience, that builds a life worth living. And the impact of this accumulates in a way you can't even imagine at the beginning of the journey. The decision that changes everything. And look, there's something I need to tell you with complete honesty. Nobody's going to do this for you. Nobody's going to wake you up in the morning. Nobody's going to give you purpose as a gift. Nobody's going to build your life in your place. This journey is solitary in the sense that the decision is yours and yours alone, but at the same time it doesn't need to be done in complete isolation. There's something powerful that happens when you publicly declare an intention. When you put it into words, when you share with other people who are on the same quest, you create a commitment that goes beyond your own head. The Japanese understand this through the concept of giri, a sense of duty and responsibility that you assume not only with yourself, but with the community around you. And this is one of the oldest transformation techniques, making your decision visible. That's why I want to extend an invitation to you now. If you really decide to live with purpose, if you're tired of wasting your days on autopilot, if you want to build something real in your life, write in the comments, I choose my Ikigai. It's not just a comment, it's a public declaration of intention. It's you telling the universe, yourself, and everyone here, I've decided. And after that, come back here every day to remember who you're becoming. Because look, mindset doesn't change with one video. It doesn't change with a moment of inspiration. It changes with repetition, with constant reinforcement, with the conscious decision to reconnect with your purpose every day. And this community here, these people in the comments who are making the same choice as you, they'll sustain you on days when motivation fails, on days when doubt hits hard, on days when you question if it's worth it. And there's one more thing that needs to be clear before we close this conversation. Something that will determine whether you'll actually apply this or if this will just be another video you watched and forgot. If you made it this far, you're not like most people. Most give up halfway, most just stay with superficial entertainment. But you stayed. You listened until the end, and that already says a lot about who you are and about the transformation you're seeking. Your next step starts now. So look, if this content made sense to you, if something here resonated with what you're experiencing, subscribe to the channel now. Because I'm building a community of men who don't want to live on autopilot, who want something greater, something real. And if you want to be part of this, hit that subscribe button. You'll continue receiving this type of content that will help you on this journey. And leave in the comments. Watched until the end. I want to know who's really committed, who's really on this path with me. And if this video helped you in any way, leave a like too. This helps more people find this message when they need it most. There's a video here on the side that complements this subject in a powerful way. It's about how to build unshakable discipline even when motivation fails. Click and continue with me there, because true transformation doesn't happen with a single video. It happens when you decide, every day, to build the version of you that you respect. See you in the next video. Cheers.